Yokwe, aloha, welcome to the Pacific Way. The Pacific is one of the most vulnerable regions to the impacts of climate change. So much so that many island communities are looking at adaptation and resilience measures to protect their basic needs of food, water, and shelter. The Pacific Community, or SPC, in collaboration with the Fiji National University, have put together a course to enhance capacity building in the area of disaster risk management.
I was honored, overwhelmed at the same time, being one of the inaugural graduates for this course.
It's an exciting moment for me. It's really beneficial for me in terms of my future career and also my current position as an operation manager.
I feel very proud to be part of the success of the program of postgraduate disaster risk management, and also to be part, while at the same time being a staff of the Geoscience Division of SPC.
It was a historical moment for 3 Pacific Islanders who became the inaugural graduates of the Postgraduate Certificate in Disaster Risk Management from the Fiji National University in December 2015. Through a joint collaboration between SPC and the Fiji National University, the web-based course was rolled out for the first time in 2012.
SPC approached FNU quite a few years back, and they talked about how disaster risk management was becoming a more frequent and a more necessary need for training in the Pacific, and most importantly that it needed to be Pacific based. And FNU has always thought of themselves as the regional institution for the Pacific area. So when SPC talked to them about it, FNU was happy to come on board and start a program.
Although preliminary work had been done on the course outlines, Dr. Kirsty Mayhew from the Pacific Community's SPC Geoscience Division was instrumental in putting together lecture content.
We started in 2011 to put material together. That was a process of thinking about what the course content ought to be. We had outlines that gave some rough indications, but we wanted to refine that a little bit more to make sure the content we have meets the needs of the sector at the moment.
Having travelled the Pacific extensively through her work as a training advisor in disaster risk management, Mayhew was able to gauge the needs of the region.
The disaster managers are competent at what they do a good job, but they're also very busy, which means it can be a challenge for them to learn different ways of doing things and also to have the time to sit down and dedicate to that process. So entering a formal course of study really compels them to concentrate on what they're doing.
So we start really with the basic of what is disaster and how to get services out to the other, the far islands and the far reaches of the countries that are here. And we end up with evaluating, how good of a job did you do after the disaster occurred? And how can you go back and make things better for when it occurs again?
Disasters range from natural to man-made calamities. Having undergone the course, the graduates have a more holistic approach to disaster response.
I was able to learn the different relevant stakeholders that were involved in disaster risk management, and also the tools that are being used, the methodologies in regards to DRM, and also streamlining of the recovery process, and also the evidence base of resource mobilization.
I think disaster risk reduction is one of the most important components. Mainstreaming, how we mainstream disaster risk reduction into other sectors, legislation and policies, and also how you can run, you manage an EOC, Emergency Operation Center. This is a very technical area, and it's not just like normal management, it's more a technical area. You need to have skills. So this is a very important course.
It has provided in-depth knowledge and understanding into the concepts of the disaster risk management. So for me as a researcher, I have come to understand the needs of disaster response practitioners and humanitarian people, the information needs when a disaster strikes. So in a way it has helped me to be more responsive to the information needs, that in the future I could be a better researcher in order of providing the latest information and data that meets their needs on the ground.
The Fiji National University is contemplating expanding the course to include a postgraduate diploma and master's program. And for now, the momentum looks promising.
Whilst around half of the students are privately funded, we do have, from the first cohort, one student was funded by the World Bank on a scholarship through one of their projects. We have 5 students from the Solomon Islands who are sponsored by the SPC EU Building Safety and Resilience in the Pacific project, and a further 4 students from Fiji who are funded by that same SPC EU project. So the support from the donors has been really beneficial to allow the students to engage in this further education.
It's open to anyone. If you have internet access, it's there for you, because the whole program is based on the internet. Then as long as you have good access, we welcome you into the program. I want to see it boom a lot more. We have a lot more interest this year, and I see it growing.
Welcome back. You're watching The Pacific Way. Earlier this year, Guam hosted the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts, which brought together over 2,500 participants from 25 Pacific Island countries and territories. There was so much happening at the main festival village and satellite venues, and it was great to see large crowds turning out every day to enjoy the spirit of the 12th Festpac. One activity that definitely captured the attention of visitors at the different venues was the traditional weaving.
Half a day, everybody. It's another gorgeous day here in Hagatnia, so we thought we'd go out and about and explore the main festival village. There is a lot happening. There's carving in the huts, there's handicrafts on display, the house jam is in full swing, and we've stopped by the Hawaii hut where there's a weaving demonstration underway, and we have the privilege of meeting Marcus Marzan. Marcus, thank you very much for talking to us today. First, if you could just describe for us what you're doing here today.
Well, aloha mai kako. What I'm presenting today is a traditional Hawaiian style fan. It's called a pe'ahi, and pe'ahi are chiefly fans that were symbols of the chief when they were in ceremonies and different functions. This was a symbol of their status and rank.
Okay. And what are some of the materials that are traditionally used?
In this pe'ahi that I'm making right now, I have the material that I'm using is the pandanus that was plated here, and then the aha, or the coconut sennet that's being used to make the handle itself.
The fan that you're making today, how long would that take for you to complete?
For me, I've only been working on this for a couple of days now. So I finished the blade in one day, and then I started to make this as well yesterday. So this is my second day of work on it. But yeah, definitely, it just takes time. What we're trying to do here in our hale is to showcase the Hawaiian culture through its practices and its traditions and the values that we try to perpetuate.
So how did you get into weaving?
the older weavers took it upon themselves to share their knowledge outside of their family, because traditionally it was kept only within the family. And these older master weavers weren't finding people in their family that were interested in learning, so they decided to share their knowledge to whoever was interested in learning.
I understand you've been doing this for over 20 years now.
Yes.
Is it more than just a hobby for you?
For me, it's a life value and practice on how I look and look at life and how I deal with the things that I have in my daily life. So it's more than just a practice, it's a value system and how I conduct myself.
What do you think of the Festival of Pacific Arts here in Guam? Have you had a chance to go around and see some of the weaving from the other countries?
Yes, I've actually been fortunate enough to attend several of the festivals in the past, and it's always wonderful to see friends that I've met and made over the years, and to reconnect with them and make new friends at festivals. So the community of the Pacific is getting a lot smaller because of these types of gatherings and the connections that we're making. The idea of remembering who you are and where you come from is very important, and in Hawaii, but it's something that is also very important for all of our peoples across the Pacific, to know who we are and be proud of who we are, and understand the culture that you come from.
From the main festival village, we've now moved to the Sagan Katuran Chamora, one of the satellite venues here for the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts. There are weaving demonstrations happening up here as well. I'm with Selwyn Balu from Solomon Islands. Selwyn, thanks very much for talking to us. Could you describe for us what you are demonstrating here today?
I'm just making a banana fiber weaver. There's only banana fiber weavers in Temotu province.
Tell us about the materials that you use to make. I understand the finished product will be a bag?
Yeah, the finished one will be a bag, and then I can make a basket, bags, and the costume of dancing, costume.
What about the patterns that you're using here today? Are they quite unique to the Temotu province, or is this something that everyone in Solomon Islands can use?
This pattern I use today is just only for the Temotu province. And usually when we use this pattern, when we make a custom for women's bang woman, then we can, they call it nuts patterns, because we use nuts to when we pair a woman.
Is this weaving art form, is it still practiced widely in the Temotu province?
In the Chamora province, just only in my village, in my island, in Santa Cruz Island, and only my family or my tribes just only weaving in the Chamora province.
So how long have you been weaving?
I just weaving when I was 18 years old. Then after I just learned weaving from my father when I was 18 years, 2005, and after 2 years, then I started to teach my son. This type of weaving, they just only the men weaving.
There's so much amazing talent, there's so much to see and so many things to participate in here at the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts.
Welcome back. She has performed at many festivals, including the Melanesian Arts Festival, and in her illustrious career has become a popular name among music circles in the region. The Pacific Way team met up with Fiji's Wunde Queen, Laisa Vulakoro, at the recent Festival of Pacific Arts in Guam to talk about her new music. Let's check it out.
Kavoro is like it's metaphoric. It's not about a real person or anything. Bitu, I use Bitu because it's a tree of life from the mountains in Fiji, Naitasiri, and I take the storyline from their boat, like Bilimbili, because Bitu up in the mountains is a tree of life, like coconut trees on the coastal areas of Fiji and the Pacific Islands. With the Bitu, with the bamboo, you use it for preparing, carrying water, use it for cooking. They use the Bitu as musical instruments, nose flutes and derua. They also use it to build their homes, and they use it to make their boat, which is bilimbili in this context, where the song is going. So Bitu Kavoro means a broken bamboo, meaning when the bamboo is broken, a life is broken. So the storyline is taken from that context, and it's about a broken relationship, broken friendship, broken marriage. Sorry, I just get a bit emotional. And so that's the story about the Bitu. Bitu Kavoro, ayala yala ni nongo. That's the first line, meaning the broken life. It's the end of my love. And then I started to connect the bamboo with the river that comes down from the top of the mountain. Waindina, Wainimala, Wainimbuka, all the way down to Rewa River, down to Nasilai. So it's like a love story, and when the love is broken, you are floating down the river. It's a combination of wunde, which is disco, island, beat, and then the chorus we have, and I turned it into a one-drop reggae. So that's a lot more meaning. It's got a very, very deep meaning to the chorus. I wrote that song with my brother, my big brother, way back in Rusi in 1988. I first launched that song in my album Oile, my first album. So, and I re-recorded it in 1992. And all the years, it has been a hit all throughout. And everywhere I go, people come up to request that song. It's actually not about Sitiveni. It was just a name that I put in there because I launched that album after the first coup. So I thought for marketing's sake, we put in Sitiveni because Sitiveni Rambuka was the man of the moment in those years. It was actually a song about somebody else that was written by my brother, and I added on a few verses and I put on the Sitiveni. So I'm very happy about, after all these years, it's still a hit song. So. Yeah, those young band is called the Hope Fiji band, put together by Savuto. I think they were just put together for this festival. And I'm very happy about them because they're very young, and they're all very talented, and most of them, it's their first trip anywhere. And to be taking part, representing Fiji in this big festival, I think they are very appreciative of that.
You can look forward to another exciting episode of The Pacific Way next week. For more of our videos and stories, check out our YouTube channel and Facebook page. Until then, tofa soifua, mahalo, and tokisio.